Hi everybody, I'm Santa and you're watching Joburg Today. Ho, ho, ho.
For public safety benefits, Joburg must be a safer place for all. In the past,
we have the responsibility to protect all our residents, the 5 million residents of the City of Johannesburg. Over and above this, because we understand it's the festive season, we're going to get more people visiting our city coming from all over the world. And us as the City of Johannesburg with the JMPD, we are committing to ensure that we protect everyone. So the entire city is going to really be treated as a crime scene, where we're not going to really be taking any chances, identifying certain areas and ignoring others.
In fact, we've said that over the festive period, our JMPD and EMS and disaster management officials would not only not go on holiday, will be doubling our resources. We've requested our officials, our staff members to please ensure that they put in minimal leave as possible. We have identified areas where we need to strengthen and intensify visible policing and patrolling. So the resources are as usual, but some places we will be intensifying.
Hi guys, my name is Boiti and you're watching Joburg Today.
Commuters deserve a better experience, and it's when you're paying for a service, there's a certain amount of courtesy and a certain amount of escalation and just presence, and I guess there's a certain amount of contact that you can have with the service provider that allows you to feel that whatever service you're paying for, you are getting the best out of it in line with your needs. So upon observing this industry, it was, okay, you have a lot of clients. It's a huge industry. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the country. And the people, the actual movers of it, don't have a general feeling of being taken care of as commuters, as customers or clients. So, allowing them a platform where they can start easily engaging with, one, the service, two, with the providers of service was very, very key for us.
Run me through how this app works.
So you get onto a phone, same way a smartphone, just like any other app that's on there. You'll click on it on Khwela, and it will take you onto a map interface. So the moment you're on the map interface, it shows you where you are, your current location, and then it shows you your 3 closest taxi ranks available to you. So it'll give you a kilometer proximity as well. And then when you go, so you'll select the one that you are interested in based on many different factors, but the one that you're interested in would give you then an initial itinerary. So opening times, closing times, manager on duty, where is it located, etc. And then you get what we call a destination matrix, which basically gives you all of the destinations available at that rank, as well as the prices for all those trips updated, and then the main routes that the taxis take. So the use for this, or the function, is a lot of people don't catch a taxi in the rank, and they're sort of on the way to somewhere else, and knowing where to stand or knowing where the taxis are more likely to go past can assist you position yourself more accurately. So that's what you find when you go into the rank experience. Now, additionally, when you're in the rank, we have what we call the Khwela Forum. Now, this is where you are able to engage with all other commuters who have Khwela in that rank, and you can raise alerts if there's an emergency, if there are, abuse issues. Basically, it's a forum where we allow commuters to just speak their mind and give us really what they're feeling and going through on a daily basis. Reason for this is because we do have collaboration with some taxi associations who are very interested in knowing what are commuters experiencing, call it in the taxi or around the rank, etc., or as a result of a taxi. As there's a huge information asymmetry problem, so they really see value in that. So we allow commuters to post continuously, and we then respond to them and assist them. If you're looking for navigational assistance, you're looking for a certain destination, you're not really sure, we're there in the back end to help for that. So when you go onto Khwela, this is what you find. You'll also get some notifications, periodic notifications about things that are going on. Perhaps prices are going up, which is the new one, which perhaps there's a bit of a strike somewhere, or there's a bit of or there's something happening that might disturb your trajectory of transport, and we then endeavor to inform you of that, as a more informed passenger is a happy one.
Now, it sounds very techno-savvy. Is it accessible? Is it easy to use for all the different age groups?
Absolutely. So the way that we've designed it is to basically mirror what they're seeing on a daily. The way that you engage with, the ranks is the way that you'll engage with them on the phone. You'll see that they are spaced out, and you'll see that they're even, the whole design of Khwela shows you a rank that's digital. So upon doing our activations and just field tests, a lot of people have found it very easy to engage with. It's very simple. It's not very complicated. It doesn't have a lot of layers because we wanted to keep it very simple for that wide spectrum of different users and tech savvy people and not so tech savvy people.
Now, how is Khwela reshaping the commuter's experience on a daily basis?
So essentially it's showing them that it's not the end, or rather when they're sitting in that taxi seat, right, and whatever it is goes on, that's not the end of it. A very traditional mindset has been, okay, well, whatever happens there, that's it, that's done. But with Khwela, you're able to take it a bit further. I'll make an example. There was, somebody, posted on one of our social pages about a taxi they saw running over someone. Really, really terrible story. And apparently it was due to some, I guess, conflict or misunderstanding between the driver and the person who was run over about fare, about money or something like this. So that happened, and I mean a random call it citizen or just took a picture of the situation. It was like, guys, I don't know what to do here, but this is terrible, what's going on? So obviously us as Khwela, we have a collaboration with call it executives and management in the taxi associations and the ranks, and we escalated it immediately, and we got, within about 2 hours, we got a feedback that they had found that taxi, they had located the number plates, and that person was going for a disciplinary hearing. So we saw even the feedback from the person who had made the alert. There was a sense of calm, of there is some sort of recourse that happens, that takes place, and we're not just at the mercy of, call it lawless behavior, let's say. So it's definitely going towards shaping the commuter's mind to understanding that whatever it is that they experience, they don't have to just accept it, and they can actually engage call it a channel of recourse that will see, even if it's one by one, but eventually, people get the picture that actually commuters want a better experience and they're willing to get together and speak about it.
So what you're saying is taxi bosses are playing a proactive role in making this app work. Is that correct?
Believe it or not, yeah. We've engaged with quite a couple. Some of them have very much, we don't know yet. And then, a lot of the ones that we've engaged have been very forthcoming, and actually they've seen the benefit that a digital interpretation of their space really has for them, one, and for the commuter as well. Just from a business perspective, it really does allow a lot of things to be put in better clarity for them, in terms of just what is going on the ground, when does it happen, how often does it happen. So they definitely saw the value of Khwela and what it aims to bring. And some of them we found that they were already endeavoring upon customer service and different things like this, which are in the effort to help the commuter have a better experience and help them provide a better service as well.
The Gautrain is running a #FoundMyWay campaign to encourage people to use public transport and also to know their city.
We find that the Gautrain is not just transport to and from a destination, but there are so many places of interest, beautiful places that people can go in. We are hoping that people that stay in Gauteng can go along the system and visit some lovely places that we have. And the nice part is that SA Tourism came on board and is also handing out a brochure of all different value adds that you can do when you go visit places.
Public transport should not only be used to go to work, but it should be incorporated as part of everyday lifestyle.
If we incorporate public transport as a lifestyle, it makes people want to use it more easier, more often, because you can see that there are things you can do when you're using the train. At this station, Santon Station, if you would notice that we have the taxis in the station, so there's a nice integration between our taxi service, the train itself, buses, and the ordinary taxis are out there. So that gives you a nice blend that you can get around and go everywhere. You come in with Gautrain, mixing into other transports and getting to other destinations.
Some commuters think that the new way to travel around Johannesburg is through using public transport.
I think public transport is more advanced, more than when we are using our own private transport. In public transport, we get to go places with cheap things.
You gotta travel, you gotta get different experiences.
You have to take a selfie, put it on your social media, Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag #FoundMyWay, and you might be the lucky person to explore your city through public transport. I'm Pomashego for Joburg Today.
Yet another first for South Africans, particularly for the Mall of Africa customers. International clothing brand Mango has decided to treat Joburgers to the finer side of men's apparel by introducing Mango Men.
Mango Men, we really have a lot of tailored suits, a lot of affordable basics. We saw a gap in the market for fashion for men, so we really thought that that's quite exciting. Then we have our kids section, all organic materials, which is something you don't find in our country really. So very excited about that. And then just Mango Woman. We all know it's high fashion, high quality, amazing basics, and yes, very exciting.
While Mango is synonymous with showcasing women's clothing, the decision to launch the men's store was fitting for the biggest mall built in Africa, all in one go.
Mall of Africa has been the most anticipated mall in the whole of Africa, and we thought this would be the best location to bring in Mango Mega, which is the first of its kind in the country, with Mango Woman, Kids and Mango Men.
Plans to expand the store to other parts of the country will be implemented, but for now, people from Greater Joburg can enjoy the first pickings. I'm Riley Sakani-Posakwe for Joburg Today.
Welcome to Josie's famous open red top bus. I'm here to tell you that you should come on over to the City of Gold, jump on one of these buses and have an amazing time. Experience the city like you never have before. Many residents don't know is that we are the most visited city in Africa. Wow. 2 years in running, 2013 and 2014. And this is not just people who are landing in OR Tambo and then leaving, but it's actually people who are staying overnight, because we also the highest in terms of overnight spend for visitors. We are the magnet of tourism. And the nice thing about Johannesburg is that it's both leisure and business. Whereas other destinations or some of our sister cities, it is predominantly leisure, but we have a combination of both. So we have a lot to be proud of as Joburgers.
Why would you say this is the most vibrant part of Soweto?
The people. It begins with the people. Now, when I say people, I mean they're the ones who opened up their hearts to move forward. I mean to say, like back then and today is different. Back then you wouldn't find the life in which you find today in Soweto. So it all began with the locals who live around here, which you still playing a very big role in the tourism industry rather, as you can still see them here in the market.
We are now standing on the famous street in the world, Vilakazi Street, outside the house of our former president, Nelson Mandela, which is what makes the street so famous, but it's famous for other reasons as well. Sipiwe will expand for us.
So now where we're at is the stand 8115, which is the very house which Mr. Nelson Mandela used to stay in with the very wife, Miss Winnie Madikizela Mandela. So now the house you see on the background there is in a form of a matchbox house. Original, it was burnt before but rebuilt again to its original structure, where that very big company was Standard Bank, coming in a form of an endorsement to revamp this whole place as you see it now being opened in such an image of a memorial.
There's lovely restaurants out here as well, just to come enjoy with the family.
Yeah, there's a variety of things.
Be part of South Africa's history. Come down to Vilakazi Street, have a meal and embrace your heritage, or embrace the South African heritage.
There's this different type of feeling inside this part of Soweto. Everything it is that you'd love to see, township life, urban life, it's all basically found here.
Okay, so we're back on the bus and we had the most amazing day. I feel really amazing. It's been great fun, Gabo.
And refreshing, relaxing. City Sightseeing is literally a link to all the attractions that are in Johannesburg. We link you to Soweto, we link you to the CBD on a hop-on, hop-off basis. You pay 150 on the bus or 160 online, and you get to experience so much that Johannesburg has to offer.
I had an amazing time. I must thank you so much. Thank you for hosting Joburg Today TV. It was absolutely fabulous being here.
Yashina Mohammed for Joburg Today.
Hi, I'm Danny Glover, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Hello, Joburgers. Welcome to Joburg Today, your online favorite city channel. I'm your host, Raymond Maroku. For things to do on the weekend, we recommend that you go check out the Gold Reef City, an amusement park in Johannesburg located in a gold mine which was closed in 1971. The park is themed around the gold rush that started in 1886 on the Witwatersrand.
Gold Reef City has long been one of Joburg's premier entertainment venues. The amusement park is one of the city's premier summer attractions.
Well, Gold Reef City is basically a theme park that's been built around a historical mining town. A lot of history surrounds this place. The whole of Johannesburg almost developed around Gold Reef City. This is one of the first mining areas within the country. Gold Reef City has grown into a fantastic precinct.
The Gold Reef Precinct has numerous restaurants, the Apartheid Museum, and of course, the Gold Reef Casino and Resort. The resort has the casino and the theme park with over 40 rides and attractions.
We came to make our social science syllabus more, to have fun and to just explore. The Tower of Terror, that was the most fun one. It was a school trip and I wanted to enjoy it with my friends and everyone. My favorite ride has been the Minus Revenge and the UFO because it makes me dizzy and yes, I enjoy it.
Well, it's a family entertainment destination. Children, adults alike love it. It's just a fantastic experience that you can't get anywhere else in the world.
Our crew enjoyed our visit, and even though one of us acted like they were in a Shakespearean death scene on a couple of rides, the experience was a success, and I will be returning when I have a free day this summer. I'm Samuel Gebhardt for Joburg Today.
Facials, pedicures, manicures. These are common practices for women. Today, I get to experience it from a man's perspective, here at Sorbet for Men. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Nice to be here.
Nice to meet you.
Great. What is Sorbet and how does it differ from the Sorbet that everyone else knows?
Well, Sorbet Man is a man grooming place. We only deal with men. And it's different because with the other Sorbets, men kind of get uncomfortable. But with us, it's like a men's club. It's like their little cave.
So look, growing up, I had 3 rules to grooming, which was clean underwear, shiny shoes, and fresh breath.
Yeah.
So how has grooming for men actually grown since then?
Well, now you see we have metrosexuals. We have guys that want to look clean. Yes, brushing your teeth was essential then, but it's better now because you can actually take good care of yourself more. You get your shaves, you get your facials too. You wear your skin every day, so you would need to do a facial. It's not only for women, it's for all skin types as well. So it's quite essential to take care of yourself.
What are the benefits at the end of the day of actually being groomed as a man? I mean, what do I gain from actually coming here to actually get it done?
Firstly, looking great, and you become a bee. Well, you know, when you're a honey, bees are all over you.
You've mentioned that they're different, you cater to different kinds of men. I mean, what are the products that you offer, the most successful ones? And are they catering to all ethnicities or it's just a specific type that you have?
It's all ethnicities. We cater for Caucasian people, we cater for black guys. It's really just everyone. Businessmen, to your students, we cater for everybody.
How has the South African market, the men in particular, How are they taking it on board?
Well, the response is quite amazing. Every guy is actually liking the place. The concept is really wonderful, and people are looking to franchise this, so the response has been quite great.
I can't emphasize enough how we as men need this kind of pampering. Because if women have been having it, why can't we? At the end of the day, you look good, feel good, and your ego gets a hefty boost. I'm Leroy, man about town.
Wellness is really, really important these days. More and more people are being booked off work for being sick or being stressed. And I think it's really important for anybody these days to make a set date every month to come and relax. We are a complete day spa. We are an aesthetics center, we are a gym, we've got a slimming center, we've got a hair salon, we've got a guest house, a beautiful coffee shop. We do everything, the candles, the rose petals, the hot stones, the music. We really try and create a tranquil atmosphere for the client, because when you get here, a lot of people already are quite stressed. So they need everything, to get into a relaxing mode. And that's why sometimes one massage is just not enough. Because if you're so stressed and so irritated and not feeling good, one massage actually just gets you almost to a state where you can start to relax. It's quite important, if you've never had a massage before, to just come in with the idea of to relax, and then also to make sure that you ask your therapist, what you want. Tell them you want a relaxing massage. Don't press too hard. Or, I've got sore muscles. I want you to focus on those muscles.
Living in a busy city like Johannesburg can be quite stressful, and people often disregard their wellness. Take some time off and pop into a day spa just to relax and unwind and get a massage or hand massage or manicure. I'm Bitumela Ratakwena for Joburg Today.
Sebastian, welcome to Joburg Today. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to engage with you on the Four Seasons ambitions in sub-Saharan Africa. Give us a sense of where you're going in this region. As a brand, as a luxury brand, as a resort brand, as someone that is serious about its offering.
Well, we have been focusing on the subcontinent for about 7 years now. We started in the leisure segment of our market in Serengeti in Tanzania with a very successful safari lodge, planning a second one actually. And then more recently in 2012 we entered the Joburg market with the acquisition of the Westcliff Hotel, so an iconic property in Johannesburg that we converted as a Four Seasons by the end of 15 and reopened. So we're going to be 3 years old as a Four Seasons in Johannesburg now. Following which, obviously, we have aims to develop another 10 to 12 properties in the subcontinent. So, combination of business hotels and leisure destinations.
Over what period of time, and how is that progressing?
Well, it's each market, each country is different, obviously. But we think over the next 5 to 10 years we can achieve that objective. And some of them are actually under advanced development stage. So, yeah.
So Johannesburg was clearly on top of your list. What were some of the outcomes of the feasibility study that justified your early entry in sub-Saharan Africa, in Johannesburg in particular?
Well, I think it was, we always believed, and it's in the DNA of our brand really, to enter emerging markets and apply the impact that the brand can bring to a business. So for us, Joburg was a bit of a testing ground in that sense, in this new continent for the brand.
Sure.
It's been very successful in many ways. We always place all of our focus on, obviously acquiring or building, in prime locations. So I think in Westcliff we couldn't tick a better box. And then, of course,
And
capitalizing
there's a rich
on...
history behind Westcliff as well, which I'm sure you're capitalizing on.
Indeed, and it's a part of the city for us that we feel has really a strong history, a strong cultural content, creative arts all around, and a strong soul, right? Which we feel that it's important for a hotel to connect to its the environment around it and the people around it. We always aim to make it a bit of a lifestyle hub for people who live within a 5 to 10K radius around Westcliff, and this is what the hotel was built for, and this is what has been achieved really over the last 3 years.
Sure. Well, Johannesburg as the economic hub of sub-Saharan Africa is perhaps one of the most competitive cities in Africa, home to many luxury brand hotels. How are you keeping yourself on the edge of competition?
So, the market in Joburg is very focused on corporate travel. Our brand is equally strong at the top tier of the luxury market, right? So, luxury brand definition in these days is no longer about stars, right? It's more about brand appeal and adherence to the brand. And our competitors that we typically run into in other markets around the world, brands like St. Regis or Ritz-Carlton, Peninsula are not present in the subcontinent, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, we don't compete against our traditional competitors. We compete against small boutique hotels in the leisure markets. And at the very top tier of the conferencing and business travel market in corporate travel. So, it is competitive, but not in our segment necessarily.
Yeah.
Right? And our goal is
the tourism industry is competitive at large. It's you've got to compete package for package. What would you say is important to Four Seasons as a brand to ensure that you get customers returning? Because ultimately you want that, don't you?
Well, we have a very strong, established, service culture established around the world. What's essential for us when we enter a new market, like in South Africa or Johannesburg, is to transfer, this brand identifiers, and it is all about talent acquisition. It is all about nurturing a very strong employer culture.
Yeah.
And it's all about investing in people and in the long term and developing skills. And the next generations of leaders that are going to help us propose the brand in South Africa. Obviously, we hope to be in Cape Town at some point, and in other markets around us here. In the
you said
region.
about 10. You're looking at developing 10. So Cape Town is on the map. Which other cities or regions?
Well, obviously the big business centers of Africa, right? I mean, Lagos is a must. Economies like Ghana or Kenya or Tanzania are obviously have compatible locations for the type of assets that we develop. What's important to note with a brand like ours is that it only makes sense to develop a Four Seasons in primary markets, right? The hotels we build and the way we operate them is extremely costly. And it doesn't work everywhere, right? So we're never going to have 10 hotels in South Africa. That is not what the brand, is aiming at and or is able to achieve.
Are you satisfied in terms of your performance in Johannesburg, in terms of what you've captured in the market, the clientele?
Very much.
And the feedback?
Yeah, the feedback is exceptional. It's very fulfilling after 3 years to see the 300 plus people we hired and who are internally really competing against some of our best hotels in the world in terms of service quality, and leaving some somewhat blue waters with the rest of the competition locally, and it's a huge credit to the team and their accomplishments. So,
well, we noticed something this was quite inspiring for the city of Johannesburg, that you have innovated this little website that assists your visitors to find out all the interesting places to visit in and around the city.
You're referring to This is Joburg, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we felt, 5 years ago when we started the pre-development and the pre-marketing of this new destination for Four Seasons, it was very obvious to us that there was an enormous disconnect in the perception that the rest of the world had of the destination, starting with your media colleagues around the world, which we generally introduced to those new locations, but also consumers at large around the world, and the travel industry, which is key to our business model. And we felt it was necessary to bridge that gap and tell the reality what it's like to live in Joburg and what a wonderful city it is.
So what do we find on that website?
Well, there's a lot.
And is it linked backdoor or to your hotel, to the hotel in Johannesburg?
It's an independent website that really aims to highlight a more disruptive, unheard, story about things to do and things to see, and how the city is such a vibrant, convergence of different art forms and creativity, and that's completely unknown. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I moved here 5 years ago, I absolutely did not expect this at all.
Yeah.
It was at the onset, it was a challenge and a hurdle to overcome for our business. But it also defined the opportunity that there was a massive opportunity to be out there with a very disruptive message, and this is how our customers want to experience destinations where Four Seasons is established. Is to find unique, curated experiences about.
I think that's very valid. It's very important because as a tourist, when you're traveling, whether business or leisure, there's fragmented information around you. And it's difficult to actually really, get a solid understanding of what is interesting apart from speaking to the concierge or the tourist guide. So it certainly is innovative.
Well, and as a tourist in the city, we are a little bit conditioned to converge towards the guidebooks and where everybody else goes, and so there's nothing new to the historical monuments and things that really generally are known ahead of one's travel. But Joburg is full of an incredible content of creative arts of all types, and
but you've selected the top most popular sites on that website, which is what I noticed, which is what is important, because there's so much to do, so much to see. Where do you start as a tourist? Where do you begin?
It's not intended to become a guidebook, right? At the end of the day, there's profusion of information out there that is already provided.
But you've got to start somewhere.
Right. And we focused on the more disruptive, unexpected aspect of the destination, which we felt is really important to explain to people who are en route to, safaris or Cape Town or the rest of the region, Botswana safaris as well. That you don't avoid Joburg, because this is clearly the message we were hearing 5 years ago, right? And you don't try to get a quick getaway after one day, right? Because there's really 2 or 3 days of very cool things to do. So this website is about that. It's about engaging people, early enough that they will make a decision to explore. And then once they are here, obviously, this is the responsibility of our team and concierge and guest relation, to craft the experiences for each individual customer.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was wonderful talking to you.
You're welcome.